Hey, what's up, YouTube? Ricky with Mizer here. Let's talk about some numbers now. We're going to finally talk about the difference between semi owner op, hotshot owner op. The question that keeps getting asked by everyone is how much money can you make doing hotshot? How much money can you make being an owner op in a flatbed? How much money can you make here? How much money can you make there? There is one constant word in all that makes the biggest difference, and that is the word you. How much can you make? It's not ever going to be the same as anyone else. Everybody's lives are different. Everybody's overhead is different. Everybody's personal costs are different. Let's get down to this too. This has nothing to do with contract freight. If you're getting into this industry, you don't have many contacts. I'd say 98%. There's the lucky people that do. But for the most part, you're getting into this and you're going to be pulling loads off the load board, just like everyone else is. That's either side. That's the semi truck. That's the hotshot side. And it doesn't matter. The hotshot side does not matter whether you're CDL or non-CDL. You're still living off the boards. Now I'm going to try to keep this as straight and simple as I can. I'm using my own personal numbers. These were my payment numbers for the semi. These are my payment numbers and costs for the hotshot. This is going to be based on averages. That is the only way that you can factor overhead when you start taking away from the static cost. And we're only going to add one more. We're going to go over 4 things today. We're going to go over your truck, the trailer, insurance, and fuel. That's the 4 heavy hitters. The rest are just minuscule after that. And we're going to be taking these apart bit by bit. We're going to do monthly averages and we're going to do yearly averages for both sides. And we're going to see how much money you can make. And that make is a key word as well. It's not how much you can make, guys. It's how much you take home. And that has been said a lot. I don't know if I've ever really seen it broken down the correct way, but we're going to do that here today. This will be based on an average of 120,000 miles per year. That's 10,000 miles per month. For fuel, we're going to use the national average for the price of diesel today, May 2nd, 2020, from AAA, which is $2.437 per gallon. On both the semi side and the hotshot side, we're going to be getting new equipment. We're not getting off on that tangent of, well, I can get a used truck and I can get a truck with 400,000 miles on it for 60,000. That brings up a whole nother category of expense that is a massive question mark, and that is maintenance. There's no figuring that into average. It's always a question mark, and when it hits is also a question mark. These are your main costs. So let's go ahead. Everybody wants in with new stuff so that you have the warranty. And all the variables and all that we get off onto, let's talk about it in the comments. I'm sure there'll be plenty because there's a lot of different ways you can go by this, but I'm trying to get an average down. This is average, not what worked for who, what hasn't worked for who. This is these are my numbers, and these are real costs. The truck that I had was financed at $3,000 per month. The trailer I had was financed at $800 per month. The insurance I had as a new entrant was a $24,000 policy that was $2,000 per month. The miles per gallon, and I really, really, really wish that it would actually have been this dead on. Now I want to be optimistic with it, but we'll go ahead and call it 5. We'll be real nice and call it 5 miles per gallon. The amount of fuel for 10,000 miles a month at 5 miles per gallon is $4,874 in fuel per month. The hotshot truck on 10,000 miles, $2,200 a month. Now, if everybody knows where that figure's coming from, I'm not going to get into the whole enterprise thing. That's been beat to death on YouTube, and I'm not going to touch that. If you want to talk personally with that, go ahead and shoot me an email, and I'll give you more details, and I'll give you my reps info, and we can go from there. The trailer that I got, $2,000 down, $13,500 trailer, financed, $213 a month. Insurance for the hotshot, because of liability, you're not insuring $170,000 worth of equipment. You're in this scenario, you're insuring about what, 85,000, pretty much half. Miles per gallon, and we're going to be nice in the opposite direction. We're going to try to make this semi truck make more money. Miles per gallon for the hotshot, average, empty, loaded, doesn't matter. 9 miles per gallon. Cost of fuel in a month on 10,000 miles, $2,708. And we'll go ahead and put the annual totals of all those amounts, the monthly cost. And this is, like I said, these are just the heavy hitters. This does not include anything. We're going to go ahead and act like IRP and IFTA and drug consortiums and all that. We're going to act like that doesn't matter. And I'm going to break this down too, as if it were, you're an owner op, you've got your own authority. We're not gonna do any of that. No factoring company, anything. Well, I'll give you the cut straight from expense on what that's gonna make, and then I'll start doing a couple of if you're leasing on. We'll go ahead and factor in. Let's say you found a good lease and you're on a 90% lease. They only take 10%. But then the average is usually about, usually you can jump into a 15%. Sometimes that's going to come with other things. You might be able to rent a trailer from that company instead, but you're going to lose out because essentially whenever you get into something like that, you're paying for their dispatchers. You're basically just pulling their freight. The load board might come into a factor every once in a while, but we're typically just talking about running off the boards, and that's your ability to book your own freight. That's not factoring in a dispatch service. That's not any of that. Okay, this is you pulling your own stuff with your equipment leased onto a carrier that's letting you use their MC. So the monthly cost for my truck was $10,674 per month at 10,000 miles. The monthly average for a Hotshot at 10,000 miles, $6,371. Now let's get into money. $2 a mile, the magic number, right? Let's say you're making $2 a mile on all 120,000 miles that year, which I'm going to tell you right now, good luck. If you're just running the boards and you're all over the country and you have not found a contract to work with at least one end of a trip anyway, good luck hitting $2 a mile on all miles. Subtract 10,674 from that 20,000, you're left with $9,326. And that sounds like a lot for a month. But let's go over to the Hotshot side. $2 a mile. A lot of people say that's not possible. Well, I'm going to break this down to $1.50 here in a minute. $2 a mile though for this, which is possible, guys. You pull partials, you stack partials right, you find lanes that don't put you too far out of route or that will compensate for that, you can make more than $2 a mile pulling Hotshot. It's how hard you look. You've got to work for it. That's the biggest misconception about the Hotshot freight. You've got to turn off that point A to point B one load. You've got to find the best way to stack that trailer for optimal income every single time it's behind you. So let's go with $2 a mile. $20,000 minus $6,371 leaves you with $13,629. Now let's say you're leased on to someone. Well, they're going to take their 10% cut. Of course, 10% off 20K is $2,000. So let's pull $2,000 off of the semi side. Now you're left with $7,326. 10% off the Hotshot side, you've still got $11,629. Let's say you're on an 85% lease, and that's about as low as I'll go because, like I said, stuff starts coming with the leases that you jump onto. You lose a lot of freedom with it. You're gonna basically, we're talking about like jumping on with the Mercer or the Landstar or whatever you're going to. That isn't where we're at on this subject. This is you running your truck. 15% off of a $20,000 month is going to leave you with $6,326 in a semi. 15% off a $20,000 month is going to leave you with $10,629 in a Hotshot. Let's break it down further. Let's go $150 just on the Hotshot side. $15,000 for a 10,000 mile month. Take away your expenses at $6,371. You're left with $8,629 for that month. That's just on you. Like I said, we're not going to factor the offsets of, well, I've got a fuel card. It won't be $2.43 a gallon. Well, that's also going to kind of wipe out the expense that you're paying for load boards for a fact, the 3% or 4% you're paying for a factoring company. All this stuff is going to start to offset everything. I'm just going over the basic heavy costs, these big monthly hitters that are going to hit you all the time. 10% off of that, $7,129 on an 85% lease you're going to be taking home $63.79. Now look at the difference on $1.50 a mile in a Hotshot truck versus $2 a mile on a semi truck. You're still $53 ahead at 75% of the rate. Now let's say everybody says in the truck business, it's been a bad month, it's been a bad winter, freight's been slow, rates are low. Okay, well let's do some low rates in a semi truck. Let's do $1.50 a mile for 1 month. You're making $15,000 on 10,000 miles in a month. Your fixed costs are still $10,674. It's going to leave you with $4,326. And if you're leased on at a good lease, 10% lease, you're taking home $2,826 pre-tax. 15% lease, you are down to $2,076. You have spent a month driving 10,000 miles, and all you have to show for it is $2,076. And these are all best case scenarios. This is not considering that anything went wrong as far as maintenance or that wasn't factored into this. This is 1 month of running, no issues, 10,000 miles. The proof's in the numbers, guys. Let's break it down even further. Let's go to operating costs, something else a lot of people can't seem to figure out. Your monthly cost at this 10,000 miles for this semi-truck is $10,674. Now you divide that by the 10,000 miles you drove that month, your operating cost was $1.07. Your operating cost on $6,371 for a Hotshot truck on 10,000 miles in a month, 64 cents a mile. You have to do the math on this, guys. This is the number breakdown. These are real figures. Freight goes up, freight goes down. These static numbers tend to stay the same. The only variable here is fuel. Now this was for me. For you, could be a little better, could be a lot worse. No one without contract freight doing the same thing every day can predict their exact dollar amount of revenue at the end of this year, especially this year. Your overhead is everything. It is almost more important than the rate you haul for. I hope that helps everybody out, guys. I know I was one of the ones that always thought that hot shots were just in the way at the truck stops and that they weren't a real truck industry, but there is a niche for it. I drove a semi-truck over the road for 11 years. I drove one as an owner-operator for over 4 years. As I was always the ones that thought that surely since I'm in a truck, I can make more money. I'm 8 foot longer. I can haul, 30,000 pounds more than these guys, the CDL anyway. It's surely the capacity's there. Well, yeah, the expense is there too. And that's what you've got to look at whenever you're talking about how much can I make? Well, how much does it cost? That's the bigger question. How much does it cost to run a semi-truck 10,000 miles? How much does it cost to run a hotshot truck 10,000 miles? At that point, it turns into how much you have to make to start being able to make money. It's the overhead, guys. Do the math on it. That's going to do it for this video, guys. If you're new to the channel, I hope you subscribe. I'll be trying to come out with new videos. If you have any questions on this at all, drop them down in the comments. Shoot me an email. I'll try to answer everything that I can. We'll get some discussion started, and we can go off on all the tangents that get sent off from each of these. There's different applications for everything, but this is average on 120,000 miles a year. How much can you make?